My own fears. Going through Walmart, it was interesting. Because leading up to this, I had this intense fear. I just go, oh my god. Oh my god. What if I like this? What are people going to do? Am I going to get beaten up? Am I going to, you know, what's going to happen to me? Going through Walmart, buying my grocery cart, and I have men's pants, a men's shirt, ace bandages, baby doll hair, liquid bandage. Was there anything else? I think that was it. It's just sort of going, my god, someone's going to recognize that these are the tools of someone trying to pass as a man, and I'm going to get beaten up. But I think a lot of it was actually my own fears about what if I like this, and what does that mean for me? And sort of moving further, because it's okay to sort of, it's okay to be gay, because you can still put that on a binary system. People are like, okay, I can deal with that. And it's okay to, it's more okay to move across that. Because being attracted to people is sort of something you can't control. But as far as presentation of your gender, that is something that is very much in your control. And so when you sort of deliberately violate the rules, I don't know, I think in some cases people get very, very angry, or they freak out, like the barista did. She didn't say anything, but she just had this utterly scared look. And when I asked for my glass of water, she just went, "Argh!" and was like, "With ice, please?" Oh, okay. Interestingly enough, I was not comfortable enough to tell my, like, I sort of told my parents, I'm going to spend a date just as a man. I did not mention that I was not doing this just for a project, but was also doing this for myself and sort of seeing how I feel. In fact, I was not okay sitting down and making this video until my sister left the house. Period. Did not want to talk about it with them around, because it's such a personal experience. Like, it's such an important, personal, private thing. Because in a lot of ways, gender is very much linked with sexuality, and to be honest, I don't want to share that with my parents. Because that gets awkward. At least for me, it feels weird, especially because I still don't know a lot of these answers myself, and so, sort of, I don't want my family trying to answer the questions for me, because they tend to do that. I think one of the most fascinating things about gender is people think it's strictly sort of biological. It's strictly sort of man-woman. What they don't realize is a lot of other things come into it. Tall, short, skinny, fat, I hate that word. You know, race comes into it, age comes into it. There are all these different factors. Sexuality comes into it. And sort of this experience made me realize that it's not just the physical that makes up gender. There's so much more to it. And that I think everybody, their composition of their gender is made up of different things. Once you stop and really think about, well, what am I? Not who you are necessarily, but like the labels we apply are so interconnected. Sort of, I'm a left-handed, liberal, weenie, short-haired, lesbian, 21-year-old fat kid, basically. There's all these labels, and they're just sort of separating them out doesn't make a lot of sense. You can try, but it's really difficult to do. And gender is so much more than just the physical presentation. the first time I encountered genderqueer was this documentary on Logo, and sort of I didn't understand it. I thought it was a no man's land, that it was a very lonely place to be, and I didn't want to be that person. And in looking a lot closer at gender and looking at how I feel on one end of the spectrum, on the feminine end of the spectrum, wearing a miniskirt, shaving my legs, and wearing makeup, and doing that sort of thing, because I've done that before, that I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable as striving to be Barbie. But at the same time, doing this in sort of the picture you see, I look like what you imagine a very sort of manly man would be. Not in the G.I. Joe sense so much as the just sort of big guy, watches football, bowls, Fred Flintstone. Probably not the best example, but it's what I've got. Sort of, I don't feel comfortable on either end, and realizing that genderqueer, or sort of non-gendered, or the area of transgender, is not a no man's land, it's more of an every man's land, because so few people are that Barbie or are that Fred Flintstone G.I. Joe. In sort of cross-dressing for a day, I realized that it's okay for me to be in the middle, and it's okay for me to not be one or not be the other. It's okay for me to be fluid. It's okay for a lot of these things, which doesn't, you know, everybody sort of goes, eh. But when it's something as big as gender, because that's the first thing people identify you as. Like, when you look at someone, one of the first things you're going to think is, oh, they're a man, or oh, they're a woman. And it's not conscious. But when you get to a place where you're really not sure which you are, it can be really scary, and sort of realizing that it's okay to be in the middle, and it's okay to really not know. And it's okay to, when someone says, are you a man or are you a woman, you can just say, yes. Or you can say, I'm me. Like, for me, being able to say, I'm me, is really important.
Yes, now we're recording.
Oh, okay. It's an interesting experience. In case you can't tell, I have really spotty, sort of craptastic facial hair. That I learned how to do on YouTube. My ManPants, although they are great, are designed to fit someone with a crotch. And the pockets are they go down to your knee, but like guy pants, the waist is actually at your waist, so my pockets are like up here. Been going through this gigantic crisis of gender, and it sort of answered this question of, oh my god, am I an FDM? If I am, I'm really lazy and quite content to just sort of be.
You're at 2:37?
Oh, I know. I'm just gonna go through and tell my story.
Okay.
The world needs to hear.